All right, my dudes, I'm here at Pekin Recreational Center. I tried to do some video before, failed like 4 times. So I was like, I need to get out of my head, skate. And so here we are talking about how if you want to progress in skateboarding, a very simple way to approach it, it's not the magic pill, whatever you want to call it. The key to skateboarding, no, I'm just one way to go about learning. Is discovering patterns in what's working for you, right? So in other words, what works for someone else, a pattern that may work for someone else may not work for you, and that's okay. You got to discover your own patterns. And the interesting thing is the pattern that they were using might work for you in the future. It doesn't mean they're ahead of you or anything. It just means that what works for you now may not work for you later, and what works for you later is not the thing that works for you now, right? We all go about discovering things and learning at in different ways. Learning, progression, discovery is not a linear journey, okay? So having said that, what I want you to think about is how you go about pushing, right? Is that the same way you're going to go about pushing switch, right? Is the way you do an ollie, is that a good pop? Or can you improve that pop so that when you go about popping other tricks, whether it's a shove, 180, kickflip, tray flip, even though tray flip to others is more of a scoop, is that pop, is the way you use your ankle extension beneficial when you apply it to a different trick? 180, tray flip, kick flip, right? Shove it, pop, shove it. Can you find a pattern there? Are you looking for a pattern? I want to encourage you to look for a pattern, right? Because something that I've found, that's helped me tremendously, like I can't even stress it enough, is understanding that when I want to learn switch, the pattern that I found is just mirror the trick I have dialed in a regular stance. And same thing goes for if I want to learn, if I have a nollie flip better than a fakie flip, okay, then what can I learn from that nollie flip to improve my fakie flips, and vice versa in some cases, right? You might have fakie flips dialed in, whereas the nollie flips may not be as dialed in, right? So just think about how you can approach the way you learned one trick. If you can use the process you used to learn one trick and use that same process to approach learning the next trick, whatever it is, right? Same thing goes from flat ground to ledges, right? I'm here at a ledge. It's the same way I learn can I apply a similar approach to how I learned 50-50s to how I'm going to approach learning nose grinds? Believe it or not, you can, right? And that's something that I think about constantly, and how I can improve my communication, my communication of that process when I'm coaching, right? So you've heard it, if you watch a lot of my content, you've heard it before. Engage the hips, lean on that front foot, open up. Those things, all those aspects, approaches, perspectives, whatever you want to classify them as at the moment, to your brain, are applied to many tricks. It's a pattern. I'm seeing something that I can apply to a 50 as I would apply it to a ollie, right? At the very basic level. If you want to call it foundations, they can also be known as foundations, right? Understanding what stability is with riding your board can also be applied to how you will improve your stabilization in a grind, or skating a stair set, right? When you want to, wow, I just realized I'm stuffed. When you want to be more stable as you include impact, speed, an unstable surface, you gotta really you don't have to think about it, but it's helped me so much that I feel like you have to. And so, long story short, skateboarding is made so much easier when you can identify patterns in the way you learn a trick, right? Identify the similarities between the processes. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to say right now. Super cutthroat and to the point, and this is something that I talk about a glimpse of what I'm spreading out throughout all the content I've been posting on YouTube and as I coach in my sessions. So this was fresh in my brain because today I did, you know, a group lesson of 2 and then a solo lesson, and I was really thinking about that, how I can communicate to them, you know, how they can identify patterns. And so, for example, one of the skaters was learning switch ollies and nollies, and so I kind of had them do an ollie and think and feel how they jump, you know, use their body, their full body to how they distribute their weight and how they use one foot to flex and the other one to lift up, how they can apply that same concept. I was assisting them as they applied that same concept as they switched the stance, right? So I'm constantly thinking about that. I'm constantly sharing that with the skaters I coach, and hopefully that helped you a bit. Hopefully you feel like I opened up a possibility. It gave you some, gave you some faith that you can actually learn a trick that you've been struggling for a long time. And yeah, get out there and skate, get excited. There's so much to explore with skateboarding. And I think part of why I want to post videos every day is so I can just get better at expressing or communicating, you know, that skateboarding is abundant. Skateboarding is full of possibilities, and you're never too old, too young, or have a lack of to enjoy, you know, the progression of skateboarding. Sorry, I'm trying to put this on the tripod. I have no idea why. I'm about to end it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you found some, oh my god, this is horrible. I should have just stayed over there. Hope you found some helpful insight, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Identify patterns so you can progress in skateboarding. Sorry, a little burp. Those chilaquiles are coming back in.